Well, this Phillies offense certainly was alive last night. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Phillies Handstill Media. Today we're going to recap on last night's game between the Phillies and the Colorado Rockies as the Phillies defeat the Rockies both on a score of 8-2 as we win the first game of this 4-game series. Now guys, before getting into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please show engagement bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. This video is also brought to you by All Things Phillies. All Things Phillies provides a daily video of highlights from the game, so please go subscribe to this channel, link in the description section. So I apologize for getting this video out a little bit late. I traveled home from Estero, Florida this morning. I had to get up at like 4 a.m. To get on the flight. So I got home early this morning, had to unpack and do other things. So I apologize, but I had a great time down there. I was down there for a week. Had a great time having George Laner on yesterday, friend of the pod. He did a great job. So definitely was an eventful time down there for the Phils while I was down there. Right, the Kyle Schwarber ejection, the breakdown video. Hope you all enjoyed that. Many more to come. But the offense certainly showed up in this game after we lose 1-0 to the Milwaukee Brewers. Of course, as I talked about yesterday, as I talked about in the recaps in the series, the Brewers have one of the best pitching staff, not just rotation or bullpen, in all of baseball. It's hard going against those guys. And so I give this team a little bit of a break. I mean, understand that we got a lot of weapons on this offensive side, but I give this team a little bit of a break simply because Angel Hernandez was really bad back there on Sunday night. All those missed calls, you saw them in the breakdown video I did. And if you just watched the game, even just maybe like 2 seconds of the game, you saw how disastrous he was. Multiple calls that he just wasn't making. I understand a few of them, hey, I mean, you could argue a few of them were close, but just like, I understand sometimes the umpires are going to miss a call, and that's fine, but it just was continuous. It was so much. I mean, so much to the point where, like, okay, we're not going to talk about that anymore. We already talked about that. But this offense certainly was alive last night. Bryce Harper laid another solo home run. Hopefully this isn't a repeat of last year. Bryce Harper has hit the most consecutive solo home runs to start the season in Phillies history. He did that last year. He already has 3 solo shots to start this year. This ball game didn't really start off too great early. As we're going to take a look at the scoring summary here in the top of the first inning, Connor Joe homers on a fly ball to left center field. A solo shot off of Kyle Gibson, his first of the season. And it is 1-0 Colorado. So the Rockies get off to a really good start. I mean, coming into the series, they did a lot of damage against the Detroit Tigers. And they're coming into the series hot, right? I mean, they're really in a tough division out there in the NL West. Of course, they got Chris Bryant now. We talked about this a little bit last week since we were out in Colorado. Talked about this a little bit last week. So 1-0 Rockies. Then we pick it up here in the top of the second inning. This guy just kills us. We saw it in Colorado. Randall Grichuk homers on a fly ball to left center field, his second of the season, and it's 2-0 Rockies. So it wasn't the greatest start for Kyle Gibson, and then after this, I mean, that'd be it. I mean, he settled down, he looked a lot better after this, he was starting to get more command of his pitches, so we looked fine after this. It just kind of was a rough start for him, but the offense picked him up. I mean, he wasn't even that bad. I mean, 5 2/3, 2 earned runs. Definitely not bad for a guy like Kyle Gibson, a guy that's not really known for, generating a lot of strikeouts, but of course we did see it in that second game of the regular season against the Oakland A's, of course, 10 strikeouts. But that's kind of, a little bit rare for him. And we pick it up here in the bottom of the third inning. JT Realmuto doubles on a line drive to left field. Rhys Hoskins comes around to score. That was JT's 4th double of the season, and the Phillies going to more now 2-1 ball game. So JT Realmuto, something we don't really see very often, right? Driving in a run when there's ducks on the pond. This guy is not a clutch hitter. He doesn't seem to hit well with runner scoring position. I mean, he doesn't seem to. Well, we go take a look at the numbers. He's not good in runner scoring position. And I don't know what it is. Some guys are just not clutch hitters. JT Realmuto is not a clutch hitter, but he looked like a clutch hitter right there to get the Bills on the board. Now a 2-1 ball game. Then we pick it up here in the same inning. Kyle Schwarber, he's still fired up from the night before, right? He's still fired up from the night before, and see the carry into this ball game as he doubles on a sharp fly ball to center field. Bryce Harper and JT Realmuto come around to score. Schwarber's 3rd double of the season, and the Phillies now take a 3-2 lead. So this ball was absolutely crushed. It was such a high fly ball. I thought I had a chance of getting out. This was a playable ball. I mean, this was a playable ball. A ball that should have been caught, honestly. A ball that should have been caught. I mean, I thought he got good wood on that. I thought the ball had a chance to get out, but you got to catch that ball. You got to catch that ball. Falls in no man's land between right field and center field. So that ball has to be caught. There's no excuse for that. So I'll definitely take it. So as I talked about in last night's story, I said the Rockies, I understand the Sullivans was alive, but I tell you what, I mean, they didn't look very good out there last night. Kicked the ball all over the place, fumbling the ball, just not making catches. It just didn't look good last night. So 3-2 Phillies. So we pick it up here in the bottom of the 5th inning, Bryce Harper. This ball was crushed as he homers on a fly ball to left center field. His 3rd of the season, a solo shot, and it's 4-2 Philadelphia. So he definitely gave that ball a good ride. So that sounded good. That really sounded good off the bat. Nice job right there out of the 2-time MVP award winner. Harp goes to left center, 4-2 Philadelphia. Then we pick it up here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Bryce Harper hits a check place fly out to center field, and Jeet Segura comes around to score, and it's now a 5-2 Phillies. It's a fundamental baseball. I love that, right? I mean, when there's a runner at third, less than 2 outs, you have to do the jab to get him home, and Bryce Harper did that right there for a 2nd RBI of the ball game. And honestly, I thought that had a chance of getting out. I mean, he gave that ball a pretty good ride. Fortunately, just kind of fell short out there, but he definitely made good wood on that one. Of course, that's because of a home run. Rhys Hoskins is at 3rd as he advanced also on that sacrifice fly as he moved up. The wild pitch was from Ashton Gutierrez, went all the way back to the backstop. And Rhys Hoskins easily comes around to score standing up, and the Phillies now lead it 6-2. So as you're talking about right there, I mean, that Kyle Schwarber double, that honestly shouldn't have been a double. Even though he crushed that ball, it was a mile high in the air, hit it pretty deep out there, probably one of the deepest parts of the ballpark out there. That ball should have been caught, and this pitch, I mean, of course, it goes all the way back. This is not a good night last night for the Colorado Rockies on the defensive side. And honestly, on the offensive side, either of those 2 solo shots against Kyle Gibson, both in the top of the 1st and top of the 2nd. Definitely not very good last night. Now, Boone batting with the bases loaded with 1 out, and he hits a pretty short ground ball to Ryan McMahon at 3rd, and he can't handle it. I mean, he put his glove out there, just went right past him. It's terrible by the Colorado Rockies last night. It was kind of just embarrassing. Nick Castellanos and JT Muto come around to score as Kyle Schwarber advanced up to 3rd on that. And the Phillies now lead it 8-2. McMahon slapped with the E5 on that one. That was a pretty treacherous play right there. You got to make that play. I mean, you got to make that play. I don't care how hard the ball is hit. You got to make that play. And honestly, it wasn't hit that hard. I mean, it was solid contact right there. But that play has to be made. Hey, I'll take it. As the Phillies win by net score 8-2 as they take the first game of this 4-game set. Jeet Segura at leadoff spot collects 1 knock. Also scores one of the Phillies' runs. He also draws a walk. Rhys Hoskins 3 hits last night. I mean, he really needed a night like last night. Scoring 2 runs. He just looked on, right? He looked really, really good last night. I mean, making solid contact. Not only was he making contact, making solid contact. Really, really good last night. Bryce Harper, it was a big one. The solo shot to the left center, and then he gets the sac fly. Scores 2 of the Phillies' 8 runs last night. So Harper's still DHing as that elbow strain lingers. But I'm sure, I mean, they're not in a huge rush to get him back out to right field. They're just not. Castellanos is of course, he's not as a good defender as Harper, but, he's not a liability out there. It's not really that big of a deal to have him out there more. I mean, of course, I missed the bow by Hart, but that's a beautiful thing about universal DH. I'm going to talk about it as much as I can. I love universal DH. It's beautiful. Because Harper would be on the IL right now. Harper would be on the IL right now. So this is just awesome. The fact that we could still keep him in this lineup, even though he's not 100% healthy. It's a beautiful thing. And honestly, we could have done that last year. Remember against, that late May when he was really struggling. Of course, he got hit in the face and, the wrist kind of lingered a little bit and he was on the IL. I understand he was a really bad slump before he went on the IL, but these are things that are just such great perks about having that universal DH. I just love it. Speaking of Nick Castellanos, collects a knock last night, also scores on the treacherous error by Ryan McMahon at 3rd. And JT Realmuto 2 hits last night. The first run driven in by him on that RBI double. So that was huge right there to start the scoring for the Phillies. So we're down to nothing at that point. JT Muto with that RBI double, which was great. Kyle Schwarber, kind of a lucky hit last night. As I talked about, he hit that ball hard. I mean, he really did. I mean, I thought that ball had a chance of getting out. That ball was hit so high, and that ball should have been caught. That ball should have been caught. I just cannot believe how bad the Rockies were out there last night. I mean, that ball that should have been caught. I understand they kind of lost in the lights or something. I don't know what happened there. The ball that should have been caught. The McMahon error at 3rd. The wild pitch. I mean, just not good defensive plays last night. I mean, just not good heads-up play. So just not good back there. Alec Boehm cooling off a little bit as he goes hitless. But of course, he hit that ball hard to 3rd right McMahon. Of course, he was not given a hit, and I don't really think he should have. But he was credited with the RBI. So he did hit that ball pretty hard. And let's not forget, Alec Boehm leads the league and sack flies with 6. Juan Camargo also cooling off at short as he goes hitless. I mean, Didi Gregorius hopefully he can get back out there soon. This is why Juan Camargo is not an everyday player. I mean, as I talked about, when he hit the home run in Colorado, everybody was, going crazy, and I was going crazy too. I'm like, he's going to sit back down to earth. I mean, and we kind of expected that, so it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, I even said, I'm like, he's going to go back down to earth. It's not that big of a deal, but we kind of expected it. Matt Thierling continues to do nothing out in center as he goes hitless last night. He's going to take a look at Kyle Gibson's decent starts. He gets the win. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So he allows the 2 solo shots. He was fine last night. He was fine last night. He was more the ground ball guy last night. He was more of his old self. I thought he made pretty good pitches last night. I was pretty impressed with him. I really was. I mean, he kept us in the ball game, allowed the offense to do their thing. Almost went 6 innings. So I was very impressed with him last night. He gave us a pretty quality start. I would like to see our starters go a little bit more deep. Like I talked about before, I was really just blown away about how good Aaron Noel was on Sunday night. Even though he got some gifts from his buddy Angel Hernandez back there. Trent Dominguez came in there in that 6th inning, and of course he did allow the hit, but then he got us out of it. And Jerry Smiley with another nice inning last night. I mean, I was really upset at him last week in Colorado. He allowed that 3-1 shot to C.J. Cron. We should have won that game. I'm not going to going back to that, but I was really upset with him. And boy, he settled down since then. So this is the thing with Familia. He's very inconsistent. We saw that with New York. And this was a short time with Oakland, more than he's with the Mets. Of course, he only spent half the season with the A's, but he's a very inconsistent guy out there on the mound. He just is. I mean, some days are great, some days are not. And James Norwood continues to impress. Another solid inning last night, and Bailey Falter, who's been a little bit shaky recently, gets the job done last night, despite allowing that 1 hit. So an 8-2 win. This is a comfortable Phillies win. Hopefully, we can win this series. But as I talked about last night in my story, I said, we win another first game of the series. Let's not forget, I hate to dampen the mood here. We won the first game against the Milwaukee Brewers that series. We won the first game against the New York Mets in that series. So let's stop winning these first games of the series and let's win the series. I don't care if we win the first game of the series and we lose the next 2 or 3. Let's win the series. Let's win these series. So that is your ball game. 8-2 as you take on the Rockies again tonight. 6:45 the first pitch. Marquez doesn't have a win or loss. Shiri has a 4.67 ERA. And Zach Eflin on the mound 0-1 with a 5.27 ERA. This is another rematch of what we saw last Wednesday when we salvaged that game out in Colorado. So Eflin and Marquez. Hopefully we can win tonight. I'll be at the game tomorrow night. So I apologize once again for this video being out a little late. You go take a look at some of the NL East scores. Heartbreaker last night in St. Louis as the Mets had a great comeback. I mean, you got to give him credit. I mean, Dom Smith, really busting it up the first base line. And Paul Goldschmidt, who's a Gold Glove first baseman. I mean, that was a tough play. And heads-up base running by the Mets right there with McNeil. I mean, that was heads-up play. You got to give it to them. And they get their 13th win of the season now, 13-5. They're definitely playing good baseball. You cannot take that away from the New York Mets, and that is your only NL East update right there. So the Mets extend their NL East lead, unfortunately, by 5.5 games, as the Phillies currently are tied with the Atlanta Braves in the 4th place. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please share the bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media. Link in the description section at Phillies Social Media, Instagram, TikTok, Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at Social Media. Call or text 267-225-3292. Email me, philliesmedia@gmail.com. So let's win tonight. Zach Eflin on the mound going against Marquez. I am Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Let's go, Phillies. Feels good to be here. I'll see you.